Welcome to Tonia's Kitchen, where taste and nutrition go hand in hand. Here is Tonia King.
My guest today is cookbook author Prettyman. Today we're talking about your brand new book, Fast and Fresh Cal-Mex Cooking. Tell me a little bit about your book.
Yeah, so it's a collection of 60 brand new recipes, so you can't find them on my blog. They're all West Coast inspired dinners. They're all made in 30 minutes or less using really simple but really flavorful ingredients, pulling from the fresh California cuisine that we have with a lot of the Mexican flavors. They're all basically it's like my childhood in a book is what I like to describe it as.
Blogging just blew up. I don't know how many years ago. There are
Oh,
so
no.
many people doing blogs. But tell me a little bit about your blog. What can we find on it?
Yeah, so my blog is all focused on really good for you recipes, or I like to call it like healthy-ish food. So I know there's a lot of blogs out there focused on being low carb or gluten free and everything like that. I just believe in a balance, and so you should be able to have like a salad and also have all of those good sweet treats too. So really just trying to find recipes that I love that taste good, but also just use better for you ingredients. And I really try to make all my recipes very easy for people to follow. So you don't need a bunch of ingredients. You don't need all these crazy exotic ingredients you've never heard of. So just making it as easy and as simple and as tasty as possible. That's what you'll find there.
That really is important these days because,
Yeah.
people are really paying attention to what we're eating. We want it to be
Mhm.
fresh. We want it to be as local as possible, sustainable as possible, and delicious.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. That's the most important part in my book.
It really is. It really is. So then you decided to do the cookbook as kind of a takeoff from the blog.
Yeah. I've always wanted to write a cookbook. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And then Cal-Mex Cooking just kind of fell right in with everything that I was already creating on the blog. It's a lot of the flavors I'm already used to. So it just kind of fit after, thinking about it for a while. So
Well, it looks like you have some great recipes in here. Can you share a couple with us?
probably my most favorite one that my husband and I make quite often now is the steak fajita salad. It's so good, super easy, really fresh ingredients. It has a cilantro lime vinaigrette that just has a couple of basic ingredients. You just whisk that together. You'll create a seasoning spice, like a smoky spice blend. Put that over the steak. You can either grill it if you want. I usually have my husband grill it, or you can pan sear it. So there's plenty of options for people depending on what they prefer. After that, you'll just add all of the typical fajita ingredients like the peppers and the onions right to that pan after the steak is done. So it still gets all of those really good seasonings on that. Once that's done, you'll cut your steak, you'll dice your peppers, put it over some lettuce with a little bit of avocado and tomato, put some cotija cheese on top and your vinaigrette, good to go.
That sounds really delicious, and it sounds pretty
It's
easy to put together.
it's very easy. I'm always shocked whenever I make it. I'm like, this is like no time at all. And I keep thinking it's gonna take forever, even though I made it.
So I have a question. What kind of steak are you using?
I usually use flank steak. I feel like that's the best for a
Yeah.
a salad personally. I know you can use a bunch of different cuts, but that's the one I usually go for. There is one that's a spiced honey glazed pork chop with peach salsa.
Oh, that
That
sounds
one,
great.
oh yeah, that my family is a big pork chop family. So
The peach salsa
hmm
sounds delicious too. So tell me how to make both of those.
yeah. So I usually make it's a spiced honey sauce first. So it's made with honey. There's some red pepper flakes in it, some garlic, a little bit of smoked paprika for that smoky flavor. All you'll do is just mix that together and then just season your pork chops with some salt, cumin. We usually grill them to get that charred flavor on it. While they're grilling, you'll baste it with your honey sauce. And then once they're done, you'll top them with your peach salsa, which is just peaches, jalapeno, red onion, cilantro, and a little bit of lime juice. So it's really simple, but the flavors together they're so good. A little sweet, spicy, savory. It's got all the things.
Yeah, and I bet when peaches are in season and they're so fresh, I bet it really is delicious.
Oh yeah. Then I feel like you really don't need to do too much to it at all because the peaches are just amazing, especially right now. We've been getting some really good peaches right now.
What else can we find in the book? Do you give a lot of tips
Yeah, so it's because it's all about 30 minutes or less. I know everyone is rushed for time now. I do have a lot of like time saving tips that you can do for some of the recipes and even like flavorful tips. Like if you don't have like for a sauce, you can just put it all in the food processor instead of just chopping it all by hand. That saves so much time, but it's
Yeah.
so easy to do. Just like little things like that that a lot of people might not necessarily think of. So you can find like all of that in the book. Trying to cater to everyone, you know?
Yeah, well, you have a lot of cool recipe ideas for tacos and tostadas, which is always
Yes.
really fun to make. And let's get one of those tostada recipes or the taco recipes.
So one of my favorite recipes. So they're the crispy shrimp and poblano tacos. They're super easy to make. One of my favorites. You'll just start by cutting the shrimp in like either thirds or quarters, and you'll add them to a pan, a hot saute pan with your onion, poblano peppers, some garlic. Kind of saute that up for a little bit. Then you'll mix in your seasonings, which is usually just chili powder, some salt, and a little bit of cayenne for some kick. You can always leave that out if you don't really want them too spicy. So that's just your basic filling. Then you'll add them to some corn tortillas with a little bit of cheese. You'll kind of like fold them over. So it's almost like you're making a quesadilla. Picture that, but like with a corn tortilla. And then you'll put it in the oven to bake it. And the baking is what crisps them on the outside. So you're not having to fry them or do anything with a lot of oil. And they're so good.
So we are talking with Caitlin Prettyman, and it's California Cravings. Is that your blog?
Yes, it is.
And that's where we find you on Instagram as well and everywhere
Mhm.
else on social media. Well, it's a pleasure chatting with you. The cookbook really looks just delightful, and it looks like there's some really interesting dishes that are quick to make and very flavorful. Caitlin, I so much
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again. This was so great.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll subscribe to this podcast as we continue to take you around the world of food and wine on Tonia's Kitchen.